Right now, in a hospital room somewhere, a parent is holding a pen over a birth certificate. They don't know it yet, but the word they're about to write down will follow their child everywhere. Into every classroom, every relationship, every prayer whispered over them for the next 80 years. Most people pick a name because it sounds pretty, because it was trending, or because it honors a grandparent. Almost nobody stops to ask the one question that actually matters. What is this name declaring over my child's life? Because here's the truth the church doesn't talk about enough. In Scripture, names were never random. God renamed Abram to Abraham. He renamed Jacob to Israel. He told Zechariah and Mary exactly what to name their sons before those boys ever drew breath. Proverbs 22:1 says a good name is worth more than great riches. If God cares this much about names, shouldn't we? Today, I'm walking you through 6 names the Bible warns you never to give your child, and by the end, you may look at the name you chose or the one you're about to choose completely differently. Before we get into it, if you believe your words carry weight, hit subscribe right now so you never miss a message like this one. 1. A name tied to a false god. Some names sound beautiful but actually trace back to pagan deities. A young couple in my church once fell in love with a name for exactly that reason, only to learn later it was rooted in ancient goddess worship. Exodus 23:13 warns us not to even let the names of other gods cross our lips. You don't need to panic over every unfamiliar name, just do the homework before you commit to one. 2. A name that speaks a curse. Words spoken in your lowest season shouldn't become the label your child wears for life. 1 Chronicles 4:9 tells us that Jabez's own mother named him Pain because that's what she felt when she bore him, and he spent his life having to brave his way out from under that name. If you're naming a child during a hard year, ask God for a name that speaks his promise, not your wound. 3. A name meant to build your own legacy. Genesis 11 records the builders of Babel saying, "Let us make a name for ourselves," pride dressed up as ambition. When a name exists to make the parents look good rather than to bless the child, that child becomes a monument to someone else's ego before they've taken a single breath. 4. A name with no meaning and no prayer behind it. A name picked purely off a trending list with nothing behind it can leave a child without an anchor. Isaiah 43:1 reminds us that God calls his children by purpose, not by trend. You don't need something ancient or unusual, just something you can actually explain when your child eventually asks, "Why did you name me this?" 5. A name that mocks or dishonors God. A name chosen as a joke, poking fun at a biblical figure for a laugh, becomes a punchline your child carries into every introduction for the rest of their life. Exodus 27 calls us to treat anything connected to God with reverence, including the name we hand our own child. 6. A name chosen without ever praying over it. In Luke 1, the name John didn't come from a baby book or a family debate. It came from heaven in direct answer to prayer. We'll spend hours checking popularity charts and asking friends for opinions, but rarely pause to simply ask God what he already knows about who this child is becoming. If you've already given your child one of these names without knowing its weight, take heart. God isn't limited by mistakes made in ignorance. He redeemed Jacob. He redeemed Abram. Your prayers over your child carry more power than any word on a birth certificate. But if the name isn't written down yet, take this seriously. Choose a name that speaks life instead of pain, that honors God instead of mocking him, that blesses your child's future instead of building your own legacy. Because the first gift you ever give them is the sound they'll hear every single day for the rest of their life, their own name. If a friend or family member is choosing a name right now, send them this video. It might turn a quick decision into a prayerful one.